Welcome, Resetters, and welcome to God Can I Hold a Dollar with Janine Victor McDade from Reset Budgeting and Financial Coaching. I'm excited to be with y'all. Now, normally I would just basically do my podcast. I know I haven't posted something on YouTube in a while. I haven't put on any clips. If you listened to my last podcast about a week and a half or so ago, honey, that was a press for just some of the health challenges that I've been having. I had to be reminded today that God is a healer and that I have to speak life into this situation that I've been dealing with. And so I just want to start off today's podcast. You know, you're getting a 2-for-1 because I'm also taping for YouTube. I want to start this off with just some prayer and gratitude to God. Like I've just been in a rut and just very frustrated and just fed up with the respiratory issues that I've been having. But God, just give you all praises and all glory because I could wake up and not have a voice for real. You know, I haven't taped on the podcast because my voice hasn't been the best quality or I have to clear my throat a lot. But you know what? Reset was born out of authenticity. My podcasts are born out of, authenticity. It was created out of authenticity. So if y'all got to hear this throat clear a few times or whatever, it is what it is. So God, thank you for this platform. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the energy to get up every day. May not be 100% energy, God. It may be 60%. It may even be 50%, God. But thank you for giving me the wherewithal to operate within the 50 and the 60% days, Lord. Thank you, God, that I know that you're a healer and that I know that I will receive 100% healing and that I believe by faith that that will come. And thank you, Lord, for being able to sit here in front of this microphone, in front of this video camera and, talk to the Reset family and those that hopefully will be family by the end of this episode. So once again, really excited to be with y'all. A few things that have been going on that are exciting for me and what's been happening in my life. So this last Saturday, just this weekend, I'm coming to you right now. This will post probably on Monday morning or Thursday. We'll figure out when you guys will get it. But I'm taping with you all. It's got to be 9. Look at this, 9:52. Jesus, 9:52 p.m. on Sunday, March 23rd, and it's been a press just to get this thing recorded. No matter how I'm feeling, whatever. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I still gotta struggle through with my W-2, which thank God for being able to be remote and still work. And so, it's been a press. So I'm finally in front of my computer and in front of y'all at 9:52 p.m. when I probably should have my butt in the bed and get ready for Monday morning. But I wanted to visit with you all. I wanted to share, out of my heart, my gratitude and my thanks. I'm somebody that likes to be consistent. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And this situation is kind of, made me have to make accommodations for those things. And so I thank you for your grace. Stick with me, continue to listen. I'm going to give you all of my 60% if that's what I have. I'm going to come to you when I can, but I'm learning in wisdom that when it's time to sit down and it's time to be quiet or it's time to lay down, that I'm going to listen and do that too. So if you don't get a podcast from me, I ain't being flaky. Just know I'm probably not my best and I want to give you the best that I can. So if I don't record a podcast, y'all just pray. But anyway, things that I'm excited about. So this Saturday, I celebrated along with my chapter, which is the Berkeley Bay Area chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, our 90th anniversary. 90 years of, sisterhood, scholarship, service, and social action is a legacy. It's amazing. And it was so wonderful to be with my sorors and just to celebrate with our international president and our national vice president, national second vice president, and just have her be able to grace us with her presence and messages of there's still work to be done. There's still, inequities within our communities. There are still things that this sorority can do and what we can do right in our communities. And it really also pressed me to say, I need to get back on this microphone. I need to get back on this camera because there are things that I want to share because finances, folks, make a huge, huge difference in how you spend your money, in where you spend your money, in the property that you can buy and where you can buy it, and the donations or causes that you can contribute to. Finances come back down to the core of a lot of the things that we do. And so I wanted to come to us, or come to you all, I should say, honoring spring. We're in spring. Now I'm in the Bay Area, y'all. Spring ain't been sprunging like you would think it would, so it's been interesting. Oh wow. Are you kidding me? We gonna have to edit this video, ain't we? We sure is. We are gonna have to edit this video, but it's gonna be all right because you know what? We're gonna put these components together and we're gonna make it happen because anyway mean anyway. And that's just what it means. Anyway means anyway. All right, y'all got a different angle because my iPhone decided that my storage is full. I've got to clear out some stuff and it didn't even want to finish the video. So that's all right. Right. Anyway, if y'all listen to the last podcast that I struggled through to get out to y'all. So I really hope that you listen to it. And if you didn't, go back and listen to it. The word this year is anyway, right? We're going to get done what we're going to get done anyway, despite the inconveniences, despite the full phones, despite all the challenges. And so we all rolling back to the good old Mac. And what I was saying is that it is the first day of spring, or excuse me, spring has sprung apparently as of March 19th. So a few days ago. And I'm in the Bay Area and spring ain't really springing to me. We've had some beautiful days mixed in with some crazy weather. I mean, wake you up in the middle of the night, sounds like hail coming on the house type of weather, that kind of good sleep type of rain weather. But that's what we've been having in spring. But nevertheless, it's a good time for us to think about spring cleaning. Now, for most of us we think about, oh, let's tidy up the house. Let's clean out the closets. Let's get rid of clutter. Let's do all the things in the house. But there's also a financial house that I want to make sure that you do not forget about. And so that financial house is your finances. And so it is a good idea to spring clean your finances. Now, here's the first thing I'm going to tell you. You need a budget. If you do not have a budget, you need a budget. Now, that's what I'm here for. Reset budgeting and financial coaching is here to help you establish one, to also help you with your mindset about a budget and to convey to you and change your perspective about what budgeting is. For some of y'all who might think, oh, budgeting is, oh my gosh, it's restrictive. It's, it makes you, all the things. Man, budgeting is freedom. I had to come to that point where I was just like, oh my God, man, I don't know what it is to tell you after you haven't been in that space of how good it feels when you know that everything that you are responsible for and everything that you are supposed to take care of, pay for, so on and so forth, is accounted for. And your fund money is accounted for. Though, that last minute stuff that you want to pick up, you have the flexibility to do that and not be dipping into this bucket or that bucket. It is so freeing to do that. And so the first thing I'm going to tell you in spring cleaning your finances is you got to get a budget. All right. And we'll talk about that. If you don't have one at the end of this video, at the end of this podcast, we'll talk about what that looks like. The second thing that I want to talk to you about in regards to spring cleaning your finances is to look what you're paying for. Now, I more than anybody love a good auto pay. Being sick and what have you, like, transparent moment. I got a stack of mail that is sitting on my desk because when I was sick, I was like, I don't even, I ain't even, going through all that. I ain't even opening the mail or what have you because I have things on auto pay. I have money that goes into the account and I know exactly what needs to come out. So I wasn't stressed about, let me remember you know, what's due on this day or what's due on that day. I know I get paid. I know that there's finances coming, direct deposited into my account and I know what needed to go out. But I pray that there's no surprises in this in these piles. Most of it is, we're confirming that this payment has been made or it's a request for charity or all of the things, but it is clutter and I need to get to it. And so what you don't want is that clutter in your finances. Do you have, old VPN or subscriptions or stuff that you signed up for? Transparent moment again. So CVS right now is running a promotion and they have the CVS Care plan, right? Completely not an endorsement. I'm just sharing what I did a couple of days ago. So they have the CVS Care plan, and normally they give you like a month free or what have you, but they're giving you 3 months free. Now, normally I wouldn't even entertain that. No, 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 thank you. But in this 3 months free, you get a $10 certificate, a $10 gift card, gift certificate, whatever you want to call it, every month. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you cancel because you have to give a debit card. I tried to give my Cash App card, y'all. They was not playing. The machine was like, this is not a valid card. I'm like, dang, because I'll give you the Cash App card because I control what's on the Cash App card. But anyway, but it's a $10 gift card or gift credit that's on your account every month. So for the next 3 months, because I have put a date on my calendar to make sure that I cancel that program. I personally don't necessarily need that. I'm not going to get prescriptions or things like that from CVS that often. But if you're going to give me $30 for free, I'm going to take advantage of the $30. Now, let me tell you why I signed up because I went in there to purchase something that was maybe about $12 or something like that. Specifically like, let me go to CVS. This is a purchase I would make at CVS because it'd be way more, made too expensive to make at the grocery store. And immediately when you sign up, that $10 certificate or that $10 gift credit is yours. So I ended up paying 25 cents for something that was going to be $10.25 or what have you. That's worth it to me, but I've got to be responsible and mindful to go cancel it if it's not going to be a benefit to me. For some people, the $5 a month that they charge once the subscription trial period is over to get a $10 credit may be worth it for you. But for me, if I don't go into CVS, that $10 credit is gone and I've given them $5. So it's things like that. So you want to look and see what are the subscriptions? What are the things that you have on HuddlePay that you are paying for? Are you using them? Are they bringing value to your finances? And if they are not, make sure that you cancel it. Now, once again, no endorsement, but I have been seeing, I believe it's Rocket Money, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to research that. Do some type of that. Now, I don't know if this is a paid thing that they do, but they are running ads and they're, telling us about the way that they can search for things that you may be paying for. And, if you're surprised, like, oh my gosh, I'm being charged for that because you're not mining the 3.99s, the 4.99s, or the $5 or what have you, that can be missed if you're not checking your bank account on I would say biweekly, at the very least a monthly basis, and looking through your charges, then it will help you with that. So that takes me into the next thing is to take a look at your bank account. Now, we are so comfortable with everything being on auto pay, everything being digitized, everything being online. I am a huge proponent of that, right? Definitely not telling you that that's not a great thing, but it also can be hindering. It also can take the focus that we should have for ourselves of making sure that we're taking a look at our finances independently because we know, oh, let me check you might check the balance on your app or what have you, or it looks right. But if you're missing $5 every month, that's $120 a year that you didn't even use, right? That's going to somebody else's bottom line. I'll share an experience with you just recently. So I am one that checks my bank account. I used to be obsessive about it. I used to check it like every 2 days. But now I will probably check it maybe about every couple weeks. And while my balance looked fine, I take a look at the charges that have come through. Do I recognize it? Is it right? And so I noticed that there was some Amazon charge. It was like $8.80 that had come through. And I know that Amazon, if you make a purchase and it's like $25, I know sometimes Amazon be like $15 here and $5 and another $5. Like sometimes the charges don't come through with a solid 25. It comes through in chunks because it may be different sellers that they're separating that money out to. But I noticed it's $8.80 charge, and I hadn't bought nothing from Amazon. I'd been trying to be number one, I was sick, but I've been trying to be very, very conscious of buying when I need something because Amazon can be a trap. That's a whole nother podcast episode video. And I was like, I didn't buy nothing for $8.80. But remember, I have things such budgeted out in my bank account. And I may have a cushion, I may not. In this case or this month, I didn't have a cushion. Like everything was really balanced. And so it took my account and made it overdraft. And I was like, what is this? Now, like I said, my balance was fine because I'd had more money come in, but I noticed that there was an overdraft and then I had a fee and then I had more money come in. And if I had not taken a look at my bank account and really made sure that everything that I was intentionally paying for was accounted for, I would have missed that $8.80 charge, which would have opened me up to even more risk because that's what folks do when they are committing crime and what have you. And I'm sure a lot of y'all know you don't have to lose your card. They don't have to take your card. They just have to get access to your number, access to the information. And I guess they are either mining cards, printing cards, just using the information on the internet. Who knows what folks are doing? But if I had not have done that, then I would have just gone about using my debit card, like I normally do. And that would have opened me up tonight to maybe even more fraud, additional charges, because they'll put a couple of dollars or they'll test if they're going to get any kind of, pushback or dispute or anything on the card. And if nothing comes back, they know they've got a viable number to spend against. And I could have been looking at the contents of my bank account being affected and then having to explain to the bank, trying to sift through months and months of, charges, why I didn't report it earlier. So long story short, my debit card, which I dang near knew by heart, that's the other pain in the butt thing that happened. We had to cancel it and I had to get a new debit card and change what I needed to change of things that are auto pay on my debit card. But I was able to catch that and to nip that in the bud of anybody that, thought that they were going to be using my bank account as they piggy bank. So next thing is I highly recommend if you are having things coming out of auto pay of your account, please make sure that you connect your bank account to that particular debit, not your debit card. Now, there are some purchases or some merchants, they will not accept the bank account, right? They are just going to ask, what is your card number, right? Your credit card or your debit card. By all means, I recommend using your debit card. Please, as much as you can, do not have things auto paying on your credit card. It is so easy to have those things just rack up charges and you may not be paying extra. You may be in a situation where, especially if you're doing like a debt snowball or a debt avalanche, and if you don't know what those things are, we need to talk. Where you're doing a debt snowball or a debt avalanche and you're paying off certain things in order, but you're paying the minimum payment on other debit or other debt, excuse me, to keep things, on time and on track. It's really important to use your bank account, especially for situations just like what I explained to you. I learned my lesson a long time ago because this is not the first time that I've had to dispute charges I haven't seen before. I mean, criminals and folks are going to do what they do. So you just got to stay vigilant and you got to stay ready. But at one point in time, I had used my debit card for everything, right? And I had to remember and go through all of these merchants and change out my debit card. And I learned at that point, like, I do not want to have to do that ever again. So when I can, I will utilize my bank account number for my auto pays. And so this time around, I only had to, go through and remember and make sure. And it was just maybe a three or four merchants that I had to change that, I can only use a debit card for. Much less of a struggle, much less of a pain in the neck to be able to do that. But I highly recommend that if you are going the route of auto pay, utilize your bank account. Don't utilize your debit card as much as you can. The next thing in regards to spring cleaning your finances, folks, is to set yourself up so that you don't have to, summer clean and winter clean and fall clean. One of the best ways, and I've talked about this, I share this with my clients, especially for those it's most appropriate to. The best thing you can do, cash-based budgeting. Now, I am a semi reformed debit card user for everything. It would be very rare to catch Janine with cash. One, you got to go to the bank for that. And, it just was easy for me to swipe my card. But swiping your card, once again, doesn't have the psychological effects like it does handing over your cash and then seeing your cash dwindle every time you take money out of your wallet. There is something about that registers to us that doesn't necessarily register when you're swiping. Even if you know the balance in your account, and even if this is, okay, I got $100 and I'm spending 25 of it, there is just something different about handing over cash than swiping. And so as you consider and clean and spring clean your finances, think about cash-based budgeting. Now, let me tell you some benefits that I've actually experienced. One, right? We talked about budgeting period. And so what this binder has done, and for those of y'all that are listening to me on podcasts, you got to make sure you look at the actual video so you can see what I'm holding and see what I'm sharing. There is much less for me to reconcile in this checkbook, which I hope you're doing. I hope you're reconciling what you're spending somewhere. Even if you don't go old school, I will always have a checkbook. I'm just going to be old school like that. But it's so much less that I have to account for other than the auto pay things like, my mortgage, our insurance, like things that are clockwork that I can't just go to a merchant and hand over cash to is on auto pay. But those things are on auto pay each and every month. Routine, 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 same amount, same amount, same amount, right? In here, and I've made it cute. I mean, really honestly, you could start this with envelopes. Literally go to the store, get a box of envelopes. I've done that with my clients as well. But I like things to be cute. And so I've gone on Etsy, found a wonderful, wonderful vendor. Feel free to do the same. And they will create these inserts for you. And so hopefully you can see, right? I've got groceries. Now your grocery needs are going to change. We have a almost college graduate that's going to be heading back to the Bay Area here in a little bit. Now, my grocery budget is one way, but I know when he comes home, it's different. It's different. We have dining out, right? I'm just giving you just a couple of my personal categories where I reserve that just for cash so that I don't have to register every swipe for that, right? I give myself enough cash for planning what's happening for the month. right? So if I have, if it's a Thanksgiving month, if it's a Christmas month, if it's something like that, you're going to pad your groceries. If it's a routine month, now Easter, I happen to not have to do Easter dinner this year, so my grocery bill is not going to go up. But I've got groceries, I've got dining out, I've got self-care, right? If I go to the nail shop or I get my hair rebraided or whatever, those things I can pay in cash. I don't have to swipe for that. And let's be real. Some places you swipe, they be like, oh, it's an extra 50 cents, right? It's an extra $25. A&PM is good for that. I don't care if you swipe for some candy in the inside. Oh, using your debit card, it's 50 cents. I get it. Being a merchant now, I get it because merchant charges you for every transaction. So what businesses are trying to do is not necessarily be charged to try to make money at their business. And, look into that as well, because they can only charge so much. And some of that, could be teetering on illegal, but I digress. But self-care, your gas, gifts, medical, if you've got co-pays, if you're going to be going to the doctor or the dentist or what have you, set that aside in cash. And even if you're not going every month, set a little bit aside so that when you do have to go, you have the money, right? You don't have to take it out of your current month's budget. I have a miscellaneous if I like to basically buy something if I'm out and I didn't plan for it. I have a little bit of money for that too. What else I got in here? Delta. I have a category for Delta. Yes. Our animals, my son, DMV. DMV is coming around. So I've been doing a little something with my DMV category, little something here and there. $10 or $20, nothing too big. But by the time it's time for us to pay our tags, we got a little stash. See, I told y'all about gas, clothing. It's Easter. I'll get my son a little something for Easter. And then I personally have an Amazon wallet. Now it's empty because remember, I told y'all I was not purchasing from Amazon willy nilly. And so the things I have been purchasing are like home purchases or something I need for the house. And then, a little place for my change. And this I can, because of the size purses I carry, I can very, very easily put this in my purse. But they come even half the size. They come as their own little purses and wallets. I highly recommend cash-based budgeting. I mean, I'm a believer. I have been converted, and I will do a video for you all one day where I'm actually cash stuffing and putting these categories together. But that has saved me from having when I'm diligent. Now, I'll tell y'all, I've been sick, so some months have been better than others. When I'm diligent, I'm not writing so much in my check register. I'm not looking at so many charges. I can really pinpoint and look exactly at what I'm looking at in my bank account and ratify that. So that's just a couple of things I wanted to share with you. It is tax time as well, y'all. So I know that you are I'm going to assume, I'm going to say I know that you all are getting ready for tax time or you have already submitted your taxes. Many of you all are going to get refunds. So we will do a podcast about, you tax rich right now. Now what? That might be what I title it, tax rich. Some of y'all are going to get refunds and we'll talk about how you plan for that. Have you planned for that? Is this a windfall? How do you, make sure that that money that you've already earned, that you lent to the government, because if you're getting a substantial refund, that means that you did not set up your W-2 accurately because some of that money you should have been getting month over month over month. But I also know there are some people that like to see the windfall at the end of the tax year, right? Totally up to you. But we'll talk about that as well. In some of our next episodes, right? Because we're going to get this done anyway. I'll continue to share about, spring cleaning. And we're going to talk about everything from insurance, right? Health and, excuse me, not, well, yes, health insurance, dental, home insurance. We'll talk about those things that either you contribute to, even the things that your employer contributes to, but what you want to really look at to be very wise about how to plan for things, even in supplement to what your employer covers. But we also going to talk about life insurance and being prepared and how to make sure that you protect your finances. There's some things that we're going to talk about that you should be investing in to protect your finances and to protect the plans that you have going on right now. But before I go, I do want to talk about or share with you all some things that, well, just some nuggets here, and then some things that I'm excited about, before I leave here. So, as women, as I talk about spring cleaning your finances, I know that my base is mostly women, right? Got some of y'all guys out there. So thank you so much for, subscribing to Instagram and Facebook. And thank you for, doing friend requests to reset your money for reset budgeting and financial coaching. I appreciate you all. I want to share a little bit with you as we close from JP Morgan Chase's Renee Horn. So Renee Horn is the Chief Marketing and Customer Experience Officer of Chase Auto. And Renee says, quote from the Oakland Post, March 20th through 26th edition. She's on page 2, beautiful Black woman. She talks about her finances. And so the question that they asked her in her interview was, what are some tips for women to take charge of their career and finances? So this is for my ladies here. And Renee says, as women, we are challenged with overcoming societal norms of what is expected of us. Sometimes gender roles work differently from the norm, and you may find yourself as the breadwinner of the family or the primary source of income. She says, be okay with that. Manage it well and protect your assets by saving for an emergency, having a will, investing in an estate plan, etc. As women, we have to think about and engage in these aspects and not defer to someone else to do it for us. She says also, taking charge of your career also means taking charge of your finances. Seek knowledge and support to effectively manage your income through budgeting, saving, and investing for short and long term, aka enter reset budgeting and financial coaching, y'all. There was a lot I did not know about managing finances until I entered the workforce. My first manager sat me down and explained to me the importance of investing into a 401k retirement savings account and the significance of the company match. This was the beginning of my journey to taking charge of my finances. And so, once again, this is JP Morgan Chase's Renee Horn, who is their CMO, their Chief Marketing Officer and customer experience officer as a part of Chase Auto. And so it was awesome to see her write up in the Oakland Post to remind us that, especially as women, that we have to make sure that we are crossing those T's, dotting those I's, and seeking out knowledge that we may not necessarily have. Now, my particular knowledge came from the school of hard knocks. It came from knocking my head and making the mistakes and then having to create a plan to dig myself out of a hole. And then, having such a painful experience of doing that, that pain will deter you, right? From experiencing that pain ever again, right? What do I have to do? How can I be wise? How can I use that experience for good? And I hope that is what reset budgeting and financial coaching is doing. But once again, it also led me to think about, it is spring and this is a great opportunity for us to be thinking about that. But how do we also, once again, protect our finances? How do we protect our budgets? How do we protect those plans and those dreams that we have? Because plans and dreams take money, and God is good, right? God will give us the desires of our heart. We will, regurgitate back his word. But we also want to be wise in the resources he's already giving us, right? If you have a W 2, if you have a job, that's what I call a W 2. If you have a job, right, that you have an opportunity to put money away, right, for that thing that you want to do or that business that you want to explore, whatever the case may be. So, like I said, we are going to be talking very heavily into definitely the budgeting piece. And I'm so, so excited. I want to shout out Sarah Morton, who was an amazing resource to me for creating Reset Budgeting and Financial Coaching's budget planner. Now, this is available to my customers. It is a very special thing that I personally give to my customers because I had to invest very heavily to have this custom made. And so what it is when my customers sign up with me for one-on-one coaching, they're going to get access to this this reset final full dashboard. And the reset final full dashboard has everything in it, y'all. It's everything that I wanted when I was, searching on Etsy and searching the internet and like, what can I download? What are some templates? What can I do? It's everything that I wanted and I couldn't find or had to get in pieces or piecemeal or let me create this Excel document that does this or that. Sarah is a Excel guru and she so beautifully created this dashboard for me in resets, brand colors. And so once again, shout out to Sarah. So what does it have? What do you get? So I was really adamant about making sure that there was a yearly savings tracker that once again I talked about, things that you want to do. If you want to save for your emergency fund, if there's a trip that you want to take, if there are things that you want to do and you have an opportunity to plan for them, there's a yearly savings tracker that is connected to your budget. And you can put in, for example, if you want to save $5,000 as you track how much you're saving month over month. She was able to create this bar because I was like, I like visual. Like, there's one thing for to have the numbers, but give me the visuals so that I can stay motivated. My clients can stay motivated. And so there's a bar that goes literally from red to yellow to green so that you can be like, I'm almost there. Okay, I'm in the yellow. I need the green. That's there. So there's also a debt snowball calculator. So what I do with my clients at times is that we look at the holistic amounts of their debt, like every debt. What do you owe? What's the interest rate? How much? We look at all of that. And then the debt snowball calculator that we create literally prioritizes. And I do that for my clients based on our consultation goals, what have you. What's the best way to attack your debt? And it gives you the date. Now, this is something I never found, but I would have loved. It gives you the date based on what we put in there and how we prioritize your debt payoff that you will be debt free based on the actual debts that we put in this debt tracker. So I'm super excited about that. Tells me everything I'm supposed to do. Where do I double up? Where do I triple up? What do I maintain? What's the minimum payment I should make sure I'm paying until I get to that debt? Like, it's in there. The other thing it has is your monthly budgets. And so every tab is actually identified as a monthly budget. Now, we don't have January, February, March because you may decide to start working with me next month, right? It's April. You can start right where you are. I'm going to meet you right where you are, and your budget starts from April. And so we customize what should be in your budget. There also is a bill payment calculator. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my payments, my bills are like, they're kind of all over the place, but I've tailored them to our paydays. But they're on different days. And so it's nice to have your bills and when they're due all in one place because there may be some things you don't have on auto pay and you actually manually have to go in and pay it. But I don't know if that's the case for you, but you have the opportunity to see all of your actual payments and your dates in calendar form in one place. All right, what else I got for you? So for my folks who still like to swipe their card, who are like, I don't want to do cash budgeting. I can keep up with it. I love that one when y'all tell me that. I can keep up with I can keep up with my swipes. I can keep up with it. And I'll be like, okay. But even if that's you, there is an expenses tracker. And so what it does is that you can basically take a look at, I educate y'all to take a look at that bank account, make sure that you're looking at it at least bi-monthly. Really weekly is best. And so when you see, okay, here are my expenses, here's what I swiped, you can actually pull those expenses over into these particular tabs and you can itemize them. Oh, that was groceries, that was gas, that was clothing or whatever the categories are. And so we have some standard categories in there, but you can absolutely also create your own. So yeah, I'm just so excited. And y'all, it's so nice. I can't even tell you. It's so cute. It is so cute. Man, yes. So if you decide to work with Reset Budgeting and Financial Coaching and you decide to take me as your coach, where we meet 2 times a month, or whatever it is that we decide that is the best strategy for you. This is what you will get access to, and this is what we will work off of. It is a definite enhancement to the tools that I've been using. Those tools, of course, still effective. And there's some that I actually brought into this particular build, but, made sure to really invest to get the things that I didn't have that I wanted for you, and to basically enhance and keep the things that I did have that have been working excellently for my customers. So we're just taking it to the next level, y'all. And we're creating the things and the tools that will help you get to your goal state. All right, with an accountability partner. So that's something I'm excited about. I'm also excited about being on Apple Podcast. Finally. For whatever reason, the podcast just would not load on the Apple. And so I was telling y'all, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Well, we are finally there. So you can also check out God Can Hold a Dollar on Apple Podcasts, in addition to Google Podcasts for now. Google Podcasts will probably be going away after the end of this month, I believe. I may be wrong. It might be like June or something, but I know that they are not going to stick around after 2024. And so that is why God Can Hold a Dollar, just the podcast, is also available on YouTube on our Reset Budgeting and Financial Coaching page. So, and in addition, of course, to, good old, Spotify, who's been holding it down since day one of God Can I Hold a Dollar. So I'm super excited that not only can we continue to meet with each other, but there is also an opportunity for you to get your podcast and God Can I Hold a Dollar where you like to get your podcast. So I'm excited. I'm an Apple girl to the heart, and I'm glad to finally be affiliated with Apple Podcasts. So yeah, y'all. I gave all the kudos. I done talked about Renee Horn. I've given you some tips and gems to start being mindful and starting your spring cleaning. And so we will come back and we're going to start talking about some of those things that we just kind of take for granted because our businesses, our jobs supply them or what have you, or we're on set it and forget it. Maybe we open that insurance policy and ain't really looked at it for ages. We're going to talk about those things because those things can also be a money suck, or you are losing opportunity to really take advantage of those things. We're going to talk about that 401k plan too, just like Renee talked about in her interview. What are you doing with your 401k plan? I could go another 45 minutes on that. So we are going to close it down, y'all. Thank you so much once again for your support. Thank you for sticking with Reset Budgeting and Financial Coaching. Thank you for sticking with God Can I Hold a Dollar. Thank you for sticking with little old me. I appreciate it. All right. Until next time, which I plan to be next week, if God says the same. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon. I love you, and I love what your future holds for you. All right. Talk to you soon.